Hey, how's it going?
Hi, good. How are you?
Good, good. Thank you guys for meeting with me today. I know you're busy and really appreciate time taking out and doing this interview.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
absolutely.
So I guess we can kind of go ahead and get started. So if you guys don't mind telling me a little bit about your foundation, the work that you guys have been doing.
So it's the Bradley Nikki Bozeman Foundation. So we started off in 2018 doing anti-bullying. We've done about 100,000 students. We've been cross country, so we did a cross country trip from Maryland down to Alabama, Georgia, across the southern states, all the way out to California. And then on our way back, we came across Colorado, Salt Lake City, and when we got to Colorado, Breckenridge, Colorado, we got shut down with COVID.
We were talking to students.
Yeah, we were
about
talking to students about
anti-bullying. He forgot to mention that
Yes.
piece.
So we're going school to school. We were getting all these phone calls from all these different schools wanting to fly us out. There's, saw our program, saw what we were doing. So we bought an RV. We lived in an RV for about a year. And then we're getting all these calls from, California, Colorado, Texas. It's like, instead of just flying out for one weekend, we'll just put them all on a map and we'll go hit all of them on a cross country trip.
Yeah.
So we did that, and then we got to Breckenridge, Colorado. COVID shut us down. We got home, kind of had to pack up and go home, and then we're kind of like everybody else thought. Okay, it's like a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever. But we started getting all these emails from kids saying we don't have food because Baltimore City was 83% on free reduced lunch. And so, we don't have any food. So we started a food insecurity drive. And do you want to take over?
Yeah, so we got into food insecurity through COVID. And that really stemmed from the kids that kind of really had nothing to eat when the schools closed down. So we started with a huge food drive. And what we would do is the cars would come in, they would open their trunks, and we would hand them or put in their trunks 25-pound boxes of bread, milk, eggs, produce, everything for the full week. And we did that. It was every Tuesday for almost 6 months. And then once people started going back to school and people started going back to work, we were kind of during the Thanksgiving-ish era. And so we were in our Thanksgiving food drive, and these cops came in and said, hey, we really don't have anybody in our district that has cars. Can we bring all this food to them? And we were like, yeah, sure. And that really spurred an idea of, hey, working with the cops, they can get into all these areas, one, that don't have transportation, but two, a lot of people can't get into. So we started a partnership with them, and they were saying, hey, eggs are great, but kids just throw them at stop signs. It's just not if you give a 4-year-old a raw egg, they don't know what to do with it. So so then that really spurred the idea of what we call Sync Snacks, and Sync stands for Supporting Your Neighbors and Communities. And there are these little 6x6 boxes that come with Chef Boyardee and Nutri-Grain bars and gummies and all kinds of other stuff that really it's nutritious, but it's food that, the kids really want to eat. And those boxes go in the back of squad cars, and those are delivered by the cops in all these districts. And it's been really cool to see. We're about a year and a half into this program, and what it's really done. So we were in downtown Baltimore eating in an Italian restaurant, and this cop comes up to us and he goes, hey, are you guys Bradley and Nikki? And we were like, yeah. And so he goes, I pack your boxes and I also distribute them. And I need to tell you how this has changed our route. The kids used to run because they were scared, and he's like, they have every right to be. And now they run to us because they know we have these boxes, and they know that we only have so many, and I get to have a conversation with them. I get to learn their names. I get to know them from when they're little to growing up. So it makes us less scary as cops, and it makes, the interaction less scary going forward if, they are called to something. So it's been really cool. And then they also have education materials on the boxes. They're QR codes that the kids can scan for food banks in their area, GED programs, free summer camps. So those have been a really cool piece to help spread information to those kids as well, because in a lot of those areas, they just don't get that information. So our motto is food education and opportunity for these kids. So that's something that we're really excited. We're in the works of bringing it to Charlotte. So that's what we're really excited about.
Exciting.
But yeah, it's a really, really cool program, and it's kind of been like transformed into that.
That's great. So I know you kind of said what got you into the food side of it, but what got you guys inspired to kind of start the foundation? I know you said you started with the bullying. So what kind of got you inspired to start it with that side?
Yeah, both of us were bullied as kids. And I think everyone kind of has a story. Maybe it's didn't necessarily happen to them, but happened to someone they knew. But yeah, so we both had our own stories, and it really happened when we were in college. In the athletic department, I played basketball and he played football. So the athletic department came and was like, "Hey, do you two want to call this like little girl that's being bullied?" And we were like, we have a free off day on the same day. We'll go like drive up to the school. So we get to the school and the principal comes out. He goes, "Hey, I hope you don't mind, but I have a full school assembly for you to speak at." And I'm fine because I like love public speaking.
And then I'm the typical like sweaty hands, stumbling over my words, like can't just get stage fright. Like I'm sitting there like, "Nikki, please say no. Like please say that we can't do that." And she's like, "Absolutely, yeah, we'll do it."
Because I'm like, who cares? They're kids. Like, just be honest, they don't care. Yeah. And so we went in and we hosted an assembly, and we were there. We talked for 3 hours almost. We were, the kids were sharing experiences, we were sharing ours, some kind of ways that we've learned over the years to kind of cope and help us like get through kind of the harder times. And so that kind of morphed itself into, we just started cold calling schools, and we were like, "Hey, we're in college. This is what we do. Can we come talk to your school?" Some of them were like, "I don't know." And then once the news started hitting and it started going to every school, then everyone was, I'm like, "I just called you last week." And you said no. But no, he ended up going to 26 schools in the month of April, right before the draft. Oh, wow. And then when we got to Baltimore, they were like, "Hey, you should really like start a foundation." We're like, "Sure. I don't know what that is, but yeah, sure." So at the time, we started our foundation, our 501c3 in 2018. And then from there, like he said, we've talked to over 100,000 kids, went around the country, and then now it's branched into this food aspect of it.
That's amazing. So how's the move from Baltimore to Charlotte been going?
Oh, it's been awesome. It's been so welcoming by everyone, from teammates, coaches, the city. Like it's been so great.
There's so much to do here. There's like concerts, and we actually were described it. So I lived in Birmingham for 2 years after college, and about a year before the draft, he was back and forth. And then I was raised in Atlanta. So we tell people Charlotte is the best of like Birmingham and Atlanta put together, because it's the smaller town of Birmingham with like the breweries and the really fun atmosphere, and then like the big city, the sports, the nightlife, like everything that's great about Atlanta. So it's like the great of the two, like put together.
That's awesome. Glad you guys are enjoying it so far. So how have you seen your work impact the communities that you've served? I know you've been all over. So how have you guys seen that direct impact?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just bridging that divide. You're providing a food service to these kids, and you're bringing in such a crazy era that we're in with among police brutality and everything else. There's such a divide between the community and the police, and it's really bridging that and help kind of cope with the things that are going on, and let people and kids realize like these aren't bad people. Like bad things happen sometimes, but these are good people trying to help serve and protect, and then also providing the food service with the opportunities from the QR codes, I think has been one of the biggest impacts. And just for kids to have an opportunity to talk to a police officer. We had this one kid that reached out through the QR code because he goes to our emails and said Sergeant Shutterly was the first person he talked to in 3 days. I mean, and like it's so crazy what kind of impact these officers are having with the addition of the Think Snack boxes has been so overwhelming.
And as well as the anti-bullying piece too, because we've been together for like 9 years. So we started probably 8 years ago. And so we have like kids that we've mentored that are now like full circle, which is really cool. Like from being kids that we mentored now to like captains of their football teams and like amazing artists and songwriters, and just really cool seeing these kids transform, because you talk to them when they're like in 6th grade. So now we're getting like graduation, announcements that they're going to the school to pursue arts. And so it's really cool. We're getting to like the full circle moments for a lot of those kids too.
That's great. How do you guys hope to see your foundation grow in the next couple of years?
So I think my goal is obviously to spread it to as many cities as possible. Obviously, we have our distribution hub in Baltimore as well. But my goal is to bring it obviously to Charlotte, and hopefully to get that started close to when the season starts. I'm moving on a fast pace, but the Panthers have been amazing. We've sat down with them. They are like any resource we need. They're like, here, we know a person for that. We'll help you with this. So that's really cool, because it's like you're not feeling like you're just shooting in the dark by yourself. So that's been great and really helped that process move along. And I think our like really long-term goal is to have an ambassador for this program at every team and bring it to every NFL city. Okay. So everywhere that there's a team in that city, you have an ambassador, and it brings it to that community. So that's the overarching goal. We're starting with the Charlotte market and then going from there. But I think it'd be really cool. And we've had so many great testaments from the kids and the officers on both sides, from the Sing Snack program, that's really like kind of driven this forward for us.
Great. So as you guys are starting to build it up more in Charlotte, how can people get involved?
Yeah, so I would say the best place to get involved is BozemanCharity.com is our website. And so you can see all of our information on there. It's getting a little bit of a facelift because we're changing into our Panthers MO. So, but in that section, you can see obviously everything that we've done and will do. But also it has a contact us form. So that's a great place for kids that are kind of struggling. That email only comes to us too. Okay. So we can help mentor them in that aspect of it. But it's also for volunteers. There's an element in there that says, hey, I'd love to help volunteer. We've gotten a lot of volunteers in the Charlotte area for that. And we're hopefully going to host a packaging event either somewhere in the stadium or close to the stadium right before the season. So we're trying to collect a lot of volunteers to help us pack. So any website, BozemanCharity.com, but that contact us form really helps us like get connected with everyone and stay in touch.
Great. So just one last question for you guys. So I know you've been in Charlotte for a little while now. What have you guys enjoyed most so far?
I'll let you go first.
Oh man, most so far. Just the welcoming of the people. Of everyone has just had their arms open to us and just welcomed us in, like we've been part of the family for 10 years. It's been it's got that Southern charm, that small town feel with the big city vibes. I just absolutely love the city. It's just been so great to us already. I mean, we're not city people, but I mean, we're living right in the city. We're in the middle of everything, and we absolutely love it. So
that's awesome.
I would say my favorite thing is how embracing the organization is. We got here and you immediately felt like you were family. It was like everyone is invited to everything. We've probably had like 6 events for families since we've been here. It's just been really cool. And we've met everyone and everyone's been involved, and from the top down, Tepper to everyone. Yeah. So it's been really cool to kind of like be embraced by the team, especially being, your new kids on the block, and that's great. And we love it. But being embraced by them and obviously embracing him has been amazing. And then the welcome from the city, and then just everything the city has to offer, from breweries to concerts to literally everything.
Yeah, that's great.
It's been a great place.
Are you looking forward to going back to Baltimore this season?
Yeah, for sure.
It's going to be a fun game.
Yeah, it will be fun. It will be a fun game for sure. Yeah. So we get to see some old friends.
Yeah, that'll be nice. Cool. Well, again, I really appreciate you guys taking time. And I'll definitely, give everyone information to your website, and hopefully see you guys at some event soon.